I'm John Strafford. I have been a member of the Conservative Party for 45 years. During that time, I've seen huge changes in the party organisation. When I joined, the party membership was about 2 million members. Today, it is 150,000. In 1964, the party did not even have a constitution. Today, it does have one. Constituency associations were autonomous. Today, they are ultimately controlled by Conservative Central Office. Over the last 20 years, I have campaigned within the Conservative Party for more power to be given to the party members. The programmes which follow show how some of these changes have taken place from the perspective of a grassroots member of the party. In 1988, I was the chairman of the Beaconsfield Constituency Conservative Association. One day, I received a letter from a lady in Northern Ireland asking me why she was not allowed to join the Conservative Party, which, after all, formed the government of her country. I could not give her any sensible reason why she should not be a member. Wasn't the Conservative Party a party for the whole nation? I then became aware that there was a group of people in North Down in Northern Ireland who were campaigning for the party to be organised there. I resolved to raise the issue at every opportunity. The first opportunity arose at the party conference in October 1988. The speech I made was to transform my life.
Next, the last speaker is Mr. John Strafford from Beaconsfield, who is the constituency chairman and speaks for the motion. Mr. Strafford.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, if the Conservative Party wishes to be in power in the year 2000, then it has never to forget its grassroots. It has never to forget the members of this party. This year, we had a membership campaign, Campaign 88. It was launched with a burst of publicity, and some of the best literature that this party has ever produced came out from Central Office. But the follow-through from that initial launch, quite frankly, was poor. I never saw a single billboard poster inviting people to become members of this party. I understood there was to be a party political broadcast, and we would be informed in advance when it would be done so that we could coordinate our local efforts with that broadcast. It didn't happen. There are massive changes taking place in membership techniques, and Central Office should be at the forefront of these changes. Direct mail, telemarketing, cable TV, all these need detailed research, and the benefits of that search must be collated and must be passed down to the constituencies. Much, of course, has been done by Central Office, and let me say how delighted I was to see that at last they have produced a membership training video. It is only a pity that it wasn't there in place before this campaign started. But all this, ladies and gentlemen, costs money. And where does that money come from? Well, you know, in Beaconsfield, our membership's approaching 6,000 members. It's not good enough. It should be 10,000. Our subscriptions are approaching £50,000. It's not good enough. It should be £100,000. We have to raise our horizons. And if it can be done in Beaconsfield and we raise the horizons there, we can do it in every constituency in the country. The party talks nationally of 1 million members. We should be thinking and looking at 2 million members. That is what is going to take us to the year 2000. Tomorrow morning, I will be on the doorstep collecting subscriptions. And if everybody at this conference, including those on the platform, if they did the same, you know, and if each person here got 10 subscriptions, and each average subscription was, say, £10, that would bring in 60,000 members and £600,000, and that would pay for all those things that I was saying about earlier. you know, we can do it, we must do it, and when we do it, there will be a quantum leap in the membership of this party. But you know, we can also make another quantum leap, and we can do it here and now at this conference. You see, we only have Conservative associations at this conference from England, Scotland and Wales. The time has come for Conservative associations in Northern Ireland to be recognised and their members allowed to be included in the membership of the Conservative Party. We can resolve today to make the Conservative Party a party of the whole British nation. We have in our Prime Minister a leader with the talent, the ability and the vision to bring it about. Let this conference stand in support of such a resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Strafford, for that excellent speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this debate has provided an opportunity for some of our grassroots workers to voice their views and feelings directly to the chairman of the Conservative Party organisation. Now, we know that the Conservative Party is structured to give great autonomy to each constituency organisation. But with that freedom and that autonomy, we have a great responsibility, that of ensuring that we are properly organised locally to win political power at all levels. A frank exchange of views is a healthy sign of maturity. It gives me great pleasure to invite the chairman of the Conservative Party organisation to respond to the debate, the Right Honourable Peter Brook.
Mr. Chairman, this has been a good debate, both lively and constructive. I'm delighted on behalf of you all to welcome Lord Whitelaw, the Deputy Leader. I am conscious that he is one of my predecessors in Central Office and therefore a connoisseur of this particular debate. All of us in Central Office, all of us indeed on this platform, will take full note of what's been said in the debate. I'm particularly pleased to reply to it because the motion, so comprehensively moved by Ronald Clements, mentions policy. Presentation is important and it can be crucial. Although our opponents have lost three elections spectacularly, their organisation is much vaunted. You will recall Sir Anthony Eden going to see Mussolini. Mussolini's great marble desk contained a single button. He explained that if he pressed it, the entire armed forces of Italy would instantly be mobilized. How inconvenient, said Eden, if all you wanted was a sandwich. But our machine delivers whatever is asked of it, whether a sandwich or a majority. I say this because over the last year, I've made a good start on visiting the 561 constituencies in England and Wales and every area of the party, some more than once. And I can tell you what's a well-known fact among constituency agents. At every election campaign, when things go right, the credit goes to the candidate's talent, wit, and charm. And when they go wrong, it is, to coin a phrase, the professionals what gets the blame. The two very clear references are in the debate to the application which the Model Association in North Down has made to join the National Union. That is quite clearly a serious application, and the National Union which will be meeting in a month or so, will treat it as seriously and as a serious application. The Conservative Party has long been the largest political party in the country. It is now the only real mass party, and we are proud of it. But you can never have enough members. And that is why last June we launched Campaign 88. It has, I am glad to report, been a great success, and that's why we're extending it to the end of the year. Its particular contribution has been to maintain the campaigning momentum of last year's election. And let me say a word in reply to John Stafford's very powerful speech at the end of the debate. I take every word of what he said about using the modern techniques like direct mail and making sure that they are harnessed in the interests of the party at large. There has been some friction in the past between central office and the areas on this. We are seeking on a pilot basis to run experiments already in 2 areas and shortly in a 3rd to see whether central office and the local associations can in fact work directly and effectively on that. And I hope in a year's time, John Stafford, if he speaks again in this debate, will be able to comment on the progress we have made in that direction. Only 1 in 14 of our Conservative voters is a fully paid-up member of the party. That is not good enough, and we must and shall do better. But compared with our opponents, it's a triumph. Labour, you know, is doing a good impression of the incredible shrinking party. Labour was described last week as a dinosaur.
Immediately after the debate at the party conference, I was invited to go to Northern Ireland to meet the people there. So the following Friday, I addressed a packed meeting and was given a standing ovation, plus the best hospitality in the world. Unbelievably, the application from North Down was turned down by the National Union on the recommendation of the party hierarchy. I was determined not to let the matter rest. The obvious solution was to change the party's constitution. And then, to my amazement, I discovered that the Conservative Party did not have a constitution. Legally, it didn't exist. It consisted of 3 parts: the National Union of Conservative Associations, the Parliamentary Party, and the professional organisation. The only time these parts came together was on a change of leader, when a meeting was held at which the new leader took over, but nobody knew who was entitled to call the meeting, or indeed who was entitled to attend it. The National Union ran the party conference and did have a constitution, so I proposed amendments to it so that every time within the constitution it said England, Scotland and Wales, I added and Northern Ireland. This put the cat amongst the pigeons. I was invited to dinner at the home of Sir Peter Lane, the chairman of the National Union, together with the party chairman, Peter Brook. We reached an agreement that if I dropped the proposed amendments, they would ensure that there was a separate session on Northern Ireland at the 1989 party conference. They kept their word. I was confident that if the matter was put to the grassroots members of the party, we could win. In the summer of 1989, I invited Peter Brook to a reception in Beaconsfield. It was a lovely summer's evening. That night at 12:30 a.m, my telephone rang. An Irish voice informed me that there was a bomb in my house due to go off at 1 a.m. My home, plus 2 of my neighbours' houses, were evacuated. No bomb was found, but for a period I became a client of the Royal Protection Squad based in Windsor. This incident made me more determined than ever to pursue the recognition of Northern Ireland within the Conservative Party. A week before the 1989 party conference, the BBC in Northern Ireland included an item about North Down in their Spotlight programme.
Turn of the Conservatives, they'll discuss whether to organise here. Buoyed up by the success of the local government elections, the North Down Tories are confident of winning the conference over. Earlier today, however, the Ulster Unionist MP Willie Ross accused the Northern Ireland Tories of splitting the Unionist family. But how do the Tory grassroots feel? Shane Harrison has been to test the mood in the party's stronghold in the southeast of England.
Burnham, a tranquil village in the home counties. On the third Friday of every month, the Tory faithful in the Beaconsfield constituency gather here for their monthly supper club. These people are all too aware of the difficulties facing the party. Labour ahead in the polls, public concern about the poll tax and uncertain economic prospects. Northern Ireland is not an issue often discussed at such gatherings, but the Beaconsfield Tories are strongly in favour of the party organising here. For them, it's a fundamental matter of democracy.
For the Conservative Party to be a national party, it has to organise everywhere throughout the United Kingdom. And Northern Ireland being an integrated part of the United Kingdom, the Conservative Party should be organising there.
That argument is gaining ground amongst the party's grassroots. But some MPs, like tonight's guest speaker Julian Critchley, are still ambivalent.
I'm not convinced. I suspect that the motive of some people to spread the Conservative Party organisation to Northern Ireland is to do down the Anglo-Irish agreement. I don't say that's the motive of the people here, but it's certainly the motive of some people who have supported this idea. So I'm lukewarm. On this issue, if on no other, I'm waiting for guidance from our great party.
The Queen. Tory supporters of the North Down cause are aware that the Anglo-Irish agreement is perceived by the party leadership as a sticking point, but they play down its importance.
It is not a principle of conservatism. If they dislike parts or indeed all of the Anglo-Irish agreement, then once they are part of the Conservative Party, they've got every right to try and change that policy, but within the context of the Conservative Party and within the loyalty that is required to the Conservative leadership.
Do you not think it might be a bit strange that people may want to join the party when they don't accept Northern Ireland policy?
No, I don't think it's strange, because when I joined the Conservative Party, there were aspects of policy that I disliked. I disliked the whole approach of prices and incomes and government control. But that didn't stop me joining the Conservative Party, because on general grounds, I supported the broad range of policies that it followed.
Beaconsfield town centre could scarcely seem further from the Troubles. A well-to-do area, it boasts the second safest Tory majority in the country, and the local Conservative Association makes the second highest annual contribution to the party's central funds. Tim Smith, the local MP, supports the Anglo-Irish agreement, but is also in favour of the party organising here.
If there were to be one or two more Conservative MPs who were not in favour of the agreement, I don't think that would cause tremendous difficulty. It might actually improve the quality of debate within the party to have Conservative MPs from Ulster who would be able to contribute to the debate with first-hand experience. I think we'd all find that valuable.
Enoch Powell, the former Tory cabinet minister and Ulster Unionist MP, has always opposed the Anglo-Irish agreement and those parties which support it. He says Northern Ireland should be fully integrated into the UK, and he believes the Conservative Party organising here could be the first step towards that happening.
Theory is important. If the theory involves the Conservative Party accepting that Ulster has a right to be treated like any other part of the United Kingdom, that's what it all turns on. Has the Conservative Party at last understood the awful thing which was done in the acceptance of the Anglo-Irish agreement, namely that one part of the United Kingdom only was subjected to the interference, authorised interference, by another country? If they have perceived that now, at last, then something has been achieved.
The Brighton Pavilion, one of the town's landmarks, and the building which gives its name to one of Brighton's 2 parliamentary constituencies. A resort town, it too is a strong Conservative area. One result of the Grand Hotel bombing 5 years ago is that party activists take a keen interest in Northern Ireland's affairs. Michael Barrett, a local solicitor and party stalwart, supports the Ulster Tory cause.
I have spoken at Hillsborough to the Lagan Valley and the North Down Conservative Associations and warned them that they must not make the Anglo-Irish Agreement the plank of their policies. They must show themselves to be true Conservatives and to follow the Conservative policy on all aspects of government policy, not purely on the Anglo-Irish Agreement.
71% of people.
Dr. Lawrence Kennedy is personally opposed to the Anglo-Irish Agreement, but he believes that won't count against the North Down Tories at next week's party conference. The rightness of their cause, he says, will prevail.
We shall be putting the case very simply that the people of Northern Ireland, part of the United Kingdom, should have the same right to vote Conservative as people elsewhere in the United Kingdom, and that it really is amazing, coming towards the end of the 1980s, that 1.5 million people in Northern Ireland cannot vote for the government.
But for Enoch Powell, that argument is irrelevant to the real world.
It's not possible for the people of an area represented by 17 seats in the United Kingdom Parliament to say who the government will be. The government, the nature of the government depends upon a majority in a House of 650. So there is no single individual part of the United Kingdom which, by voting at a general election, decides upon the government.
In the past, senior Tories privately opposed organising in Northern Ireland, saying it would offend nationalists, unionists and the Irish government all at the same time. But now, North Down Tories claim things are about to change. They're winning the argument. In the run-up to next week's party conference, Conservative Central Office received 59 motions in favour of organising in North Down and only one against. But a clue to the leadership's attitude may be that it's the Eyre motion that will be debated. Some pro-North Down activists believe that's the weakest of the motions in their favour, since it only urges the party to reconsider at the earliest opportunity the admission of North Down Tories. The Brighton motion, in contrast, congratulates the Northern Ireland Tories on their electoral successes and now urges the party to organise in the whole province.
I believe that the Eyre motion was chosen because it will not give a complete answer. I think what will happen is there will be a reconsideration which will give the party executive an opportunity to delay any major decision for at least 12 months.
We are anticipating, of course, that we will be successful. We think the motion which is being debated will be passed by an overwhelming majority, and it will only be a short period of time before we are officially within the Conservative Party.
If the party's grassroots get their way and the North Down motion is passed at next week's conference, it then goes to the party's National Executive Council meeting next spring. But even so, admission is by no means a formality.
The Conservative Party conference is not a conference in any meaningful sense of the word. It's a rally, a jamboree, or an exercise in calculated anticlimax. We don't take any notice of what anybody says.
So do you expect the Conservatives to allow North Down people to join the National Party?
No, I don't. I'd be most surprised. It might go through the party conference, because I've said that doesn't really amount to a row of beans. I think it would be resisted by the powers that be.
That report from Shane Harrison. Till the same time next week, good night.
And so to the 1989 Conservative Party conference. Hopes were high of victory in getting the people of Northern Ireland enabled to become members of the Conservative Party. Once again, I was the last speaker in the debate.
I'm sure you've gone on all evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sorry I'm having to call the last speaker because time is running out, and here we Mr. John Strafford from the Wessex area. Mr. Strafford is a chartered accountant. He's the Wessex area treasurer, chairman of the Beaconsfield constituency, and he will speak for the motion.
I regard it as a great privilege and an honour for me to be able to address you and to be able to speak for the people of Northern Ireland. But I am the last speaker in this debate, and I hope that I am the last Englishman that comes to a Conservative Party conference and has to speak on behalf of the people of Northern Ireland. I was born in Yorkshire, and I am now chairman of the Beaconsfield Conservative Association. Whether I live in Yorkshire or Beaconsfield, I can be a member of, I can work for, I can vote for the Conservative Party. But if I lived in Northern Ireland, I could neither be a member of, nor vote for, nor work for the Conservative Party, because officially at this moment in time, it doesn't exist. The time is now for the people of Northern Ireland to be allowed to be members of this party, to work for it, to vote for it, and to vote for the party of government. Margaret Thatcher said for the Conservative Party to be a national party, it must embrace the whole nation of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. How can it be right that a man or woman can be denied the opportunity to achieve the highest offices of the nation because they were born in a particular part of that nation? How can it be right for people living in Paris or Brussels? They can join the Conservative Party, but not if they live in Belfast or North Down. This is not right. It is not just. It must be changed. When I joined the Conservative Party, nobody asked me to sign an application form. Nobody asked me whether I believed in all Conservative policies. No, like every other member at this conference, you paid your subscription and that was it. And yet, for the last 2 years, the people of North Down, Lagan Valley, East Londonderry, East Belfast, South Belfast, Strangford and East Antrim have been asking to join. People I would be proud to have as members of my association. They have stood outside the conference halls of Brighton, of Scarborough, of Blackpool, often in wind, rain, and in Scarborough's case snow, giving out leaflets and building up support. They have fought in local elections as Conservatives. They have fought a Euro election campaign. All this without an ounce of support from Conservative Central Office. Ladies and gentlemen, the people of Northern Ireland, more than any of us here today, have earned the right to be members of the Conservative Party. We must let them exercise that right, you know, and some of them are here today as observers. Maybe they could stand up, sort of our friends from Northern Ireland, so you can see they're like the rest of us, and they deserve your applause.
And they all look up towards the public galleries to where the Northern Irish
The
are watching.
grassroots of the Conservative Party supports them, and it is a sign of strength, not weakness, when on matters of great importance a political party listens and acts in accordance with the great majority view of its members. Let this conference send out a clear message to the people of Northern Ireland. Join the Conservative Party. And with that joining comes a responsibility. We believe in loyalty to the party, to the government, to the nation. That is what being a member of the Conservative Party is all about. Play your part and you will succeed. And today, let us mark the beginning of a new, exciting campaign. A campaign to recruit as many people as possible to membership of the Conservative Party in Northern Ireland. A campaign to become the biggest political party in Northern Ireland. A campaign to win in local elections, in Westminster elections, in Euro elections. The prize of success is great. And together, as a true party of all the nation, we shall succeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, let there be a great mat put outside the door of Conservative Central Office. And on that mat, let there be written in big words, to the people of Northern Ireland, welcome. Welcome home.
John Strafford from Wessex concludes the debate before the reply on behalf of the National Union by Sir Peter Lane. Come home, he told them. Humphrey Atkins, a former Northern Ireland secretary, applauding the force of his speech. Willie Whitelaw's up there on the platform too, a former Northern Ireland secretary. He's evidently enjoyed the debate. The underlying issue here in this last debate this afternoon at conference isn't just the motion as they knew, although the motion itself is plain. They're going straight to the vote now. Let's take that first.
All those in favour? And those against? I declare the motion carried by an overwhelming majority. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon Sir Peter Lane, Chairman of the National Union Executive Committee, to respond to our debate. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Peter.
Well, I hope there'd be a clear guidance from the conference, and there certainly has been. Thank you very much. I will recommend affiliation to the National Union Executive when they meet next month.
Thank you very much, Sir Peter, for where we stand on this issue.